Your one-stop spot for the biggest political conversation. My name is Godwin Sunday. As Nigeria gradually moves towards the 2027 elections, political parties are already under pressure to demonstrate readiness not just in words, but in structure, strategy, and credibility. From internal cohesion to candidate selection, manifesto development, and grassroots mobilization, the big question remains: how prepared are the parties for the task ahead? Are they building strong institutions capable of sustaining democratic competition? Or are internal divisions and power struggles weakening their chances? Well, beyond campaigns, voters are also paying closer attention to issues of trust, accountability, and policy direction. In an evolving political climate, readiness is not just about winning elections, it's about presenting clear alternatives and connecting with the realities of the people. So, tonight on Correro, we will examine party readiness ahead of the 2027 elections and what it means for Nigerians' political future. Joining me on this table tonight for the big conversation is Bilal Aliu, the a PDP chieftain, and also Honorable Damola Olarewaju, senior political assistant to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria. And together, they will help us even put all of these issues to rest tonight. Well, we'll take a short break right now. We will return. We will dive into the conversation, understanding the political dynamics in Nigeria. Please go nowhere as the show begins immediately after this break. You're welcome back. Well, with me right now in the studio is Bilal Aliu, who is a PDP chieftain. Bilal, it's a delight to have you on Correro.
It's my pleasure, Godwin.
First, let's even say congratulations to the People's Democratic Party for the successful completion of the just concluded national convention. But then, looking at the convention and the candidate it presented to Nigerians, can we say that this is what 4 years means for Nigerians to wait for conventions?
Well, definitely, we just concluded our conventions whereby we've elected people into the national working, community offices, ranging from the national chairman and other, positions within the party. And right now, the structure is now, ready to advance towards preparations of the 2027 general elections. And the convention started right from the ward to the local government, the state congress, and just now the concluded national, convention. So at this point in time, the party is, reviewing its strategies and also, open for reconciliations, because as you know, it's the party has two factions at this point, but right now the Wike factions just concluded the conventions, and we also won the case and appeal, and whereby we are now open for reconciliations within the other factions. I know. So at this point in time, we are getting set for the primary elections, and that's just the case presently.
All right, so Bilal, for a lot of young Nigerians, they will say that the People's Democratic Party is a failed political party right now. A party that still has two factions and still a case in the Supreme Court, and the party has not been able to reconcile both factions of the party. Rather, the party went ahead with a second convention, which is new to the Nigerian political dynasty. But then, is the People's Democratic Party right now, a failed political party, having two conventions at hand?
Well, Godwin, I entirely disagree with you on that statement, tagging the People's Democratic
I
Party
didn't tag the
as
People's
a...
Democratic Party
No,
as a
no,
failed,
no,
but
no, no,
of course, a lot of young people on various
no.
platforms
No,
are saying, how can
from-
we have a political party, one political party having two conventions and still having a case in court, which means that as it stands right now, resources have been expanded and been spent even on this convention. Is it a deliberate effort to even frustrate some of the... No, let's get you react to...
From your own point of view, you're trying to say that the party is a failed, PDP
I
is a
never
failed
said.
party.
I said there are speculations. So let's put that on record.
Wait. Let me tell you something. Let you get this clear. The party PDP isn't a failed party at this point. We've been having issues over the years, and it's not the first time that we're experiencing factions within the party, and at the end of the day, we always,
But it's the first time PDP is having two conventions.
Realign, yes,
by two different factions.
Yes, there's no cause for alarm.
No, just to set the record straight.
There's no cause for alarm, because as it stands right now, I know you witnessed the PDP convention, and you saw the amount of people who came across the 36 states to attend the convention, because at the beginning of everything, people were like, it's a failed party and people wouldn't attend that convention. That speaks volumes from the amount of people attending the convention, and it was a very successful outing. It was a very successful outing, and it shows that the PDP is ready and prepared for the 2027 general elections, because as it stands, even me, I was part of the other camp, but we looking at the verdicts from the appeal courts, we tend to find out that yes, there was there was a bypass in conducting the first convention in Ibadan, whereby they had to bypass court orders and all. So at this point in time, majority of the members of the People's Democratic Party are now ready to work towards the 2027 general elections, and we are also receiving people from the other faction, and there is now we are now having talks. The leadership are now having talks with the other faction in order to harmonize, the party, and work towards the 2027 general election. So basically, there is no cause for alarm, and the PDP is not a failed party. It's still the leading opposition party in the country as it stands.
Well, you said the People's Democratic Party is not a failed party. But then let's talk about unity of the party. The party has faced internal divisions in recent years. How confident are you that the party is truly united into the 2027 as it stands right now, knowing fully whether we have the Turaki and also the Wike's faction right now? How confident are you in the unity of the party for the 2027 elections?
Okay, just looking at the convention, the theme of that convention is unity and inclusiveness, whereby we,
even though the both parties did not come together and agree on certain terms.
We're at the point of reaching a resolution, because as it stands, people are coming into the new faction. People from the Balao Makinde faction are coming, and there are more people are also having talks with the Wike faction. So at this point in time, there is no cause for alarm, and we are ready and working towards the 2027 general elections at this point in time. So as it stands now, there's no cause for alarm, and we are ready, to take part in the 2027 general elections. And the issues of factions are now, it's normal in politics, because we all know it's based on interest and all. And right now, the people from the other factions are now aligning and coming into our folds. As we can see from the convention, it was a massive success, and the PDP is more vibrant enough in order to outwit the present ruling party as it stands.
Bilal, it's quite interesting. You're saying that the People's Democratic Party is ready for the 2027 election, but a party that still has internal rancor, that is still even bedeviled by internal division. Can Nigerians trust in that party to be able to deliver a concrete manifesto, a concrete policy framework, and a concrete implementation plan for the future of Nigerians?
Well, definitely, yeah, in politics, it's especially within political parties, it's normal to have different factions and camps. But the main goal is to come up with a resolution in order to unify other members of the party. As it stands right now, the party is, in talks with the other factions and trying to ensure that we unify the party and bring everyone together in order to work for a common goal. So it's just a process. It's just a process. When you look at the past 2 weeks, you tend to find out that there's been a calm within the party, within both factions. Looking at the conventions, you see, dignitaries like the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, Sule Lamido were in attendance, and so many people. And we just also had, the former APC gubernatorial candidates of of Taraba State, the campaign to the People's Democratic Party, at this point in time. So that shows you that, the PDP is really, vibrant and really aligning its policies and strategies towards the 2027 general elections as it stands.
Well, Bilal, listening to the new national party, the new national leader of the People's Democratic Party, although for a lot of Nigerians, they find it very strange. The People's Democratic Party right now have a national leader in the person of Wike. Before we get to even react to that, if it's part of your constitutional mandate for PDP to have a national leader, critics have said that the party lacks a clear ideology. Although Wike have come out to say that People's Democratic Party, the other factions are not representing the ideology of the party, and such they've been misguided by the party ideology. But looking at the generality of the People's Democratic Party right now, does it still have an ideology?
Definitely, the People's Democratic Party has an ideology, and which we're, keeping to and adopted in order to keep the party vibrant. These are principles that have been laid down by the founding members of this party, and which is, the longest, party, one of the largest parties within the West African region as it stands, and we have that, experience and governance since 1999, and as it stands, we are still, because when you look at most of the development in Nigeria as it stands, you tend to find out that most of those projects and initiatives were being conceived by the People's Democratic Party as it stands. So at this point in time, the People's Democratic Party, follows its, principles laid down by and we are guided by these principles laid down by our founding members, irrespective of the factions and all. But at this point in time, the issues of the camp politics within the People's Democratic Party is coming very close to a resolution within the next coming weeks. We are going to ensure that this whole issues of camp politics will be resolved in the party as it stands.
Well, we're not just talking People's Democratic Party tonight. We are also talking about the generality of political parties. Of course, we're just taking the People's Democratic Party as a start-off for this conversation. Honorable Demola Olarewaju, the senior political assistant to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria, is also in the studio with us to also do justice. So, some of the conversations that we have right now lined up for us to assess political parties and their impact generally and their preparedness for the 2027 elections. We'll take a short break right now. When we return, we will x-ray and assess more of political parties' readiness for the elections. Please stay with us. You're welcome back. Well, Honorable Demola Olarewaju, it's a delight. Demola Olarewaju, it's a delight to have you on Correro.
Very much, Victor. It's my
All right,
pleasure.
Honorable Demola, let's even speak to the issue that is on the lip of every Nigerian right now. And that issue is the fact that there's a debate first that His Excellency Vice President Atiku Abubakar is coming out for elections come 2027. Of course, there's been this rumor also that he's not coming out. But then you are here with us. Is Atiku considering another presidential run, or is the focus shifting to grooming new leadership?
Well, I think Atiku has always been grooming leaders. The problem we have with the Nigerian polity is that you need someone who has the name recognition. You need somebody who has contested there. And because we know how desperate APC is to stay in power, we feel that, Atiku Abubakar should come out to run. And that's why he has put so much effort into the coalition to ensure that, there's a formidable platform. Right now, ADC is the only platform that can challenge the APC at present. So yes, I think, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar will take a shot at the presidency again in 2027.
All right, so literally what you say is grooming people.
Yes.
It's grooming people that he would not allow to run.
So grooming people, I'm being groomed by him. I've learned a lot from him. And one of the things I've learned from him is that when you want something or when you have something to deliver to the people, you fight for it, And I'm impressed, I personally take a lot of, lessons from the fact that at 78, he's still out there rallying the opposition efforts, even when people were laughing at ADC. I guess nobody's laughing now. Everybody now sees that ADC is a formidable platform for 2027. So it's a strong lesson for me that even at that age, the passion is still driving him. So yes, he's grooming people to take over positions in different places, but I think, he's definitely the best candidate that the opposition has for
most Nigerians, they will say that the ADC is an acronym for Atiku Democratic Congress.
Well, I mean,
let's even get you to speak to that. Is ADC
simply means African Democratic Congress.
Actually, Atiku Democratic Congress.
ADC means African Democratic Congress.
Control the entire mechanism and structure of the party.
Well, if it was that way, then ADC would not grow to the height it has grown to today. ADC is very clearly a coalition effort. You see many people like His Excellency Peter Obi, His Excellency Nasir El-Rufai, Kwakwanso. You see all of them in ADC. So if people are saying that it is Atiku's party, then that means Atiku must be a Superman for him to be able to draw all those parties together. But I think it speaks to the fact that he is a courageous leader. It speaks to the fact that he is someone who is able to work and bring everyone on board, and it's commendable.
So you're saying at this point that we should tag ADC as Atiku Democratic Congress?
Oh, I'm saying no. The meaning of ADC is African Democratic Congress. Atiku Abubakar is a frontline leader of the party like so many other people because he's a former vice president of Nigeria, former two-term presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Because of that profile that he has, a lot of people defer to him. And you saw, Kwakwanso, everyone, visits him before they come into the party. It just shows that he is a leader who brings everyone together, and he has a track record of being a very strong party man and a track record of being one who carries everyone along. And I think that's what's happening right now.
So also there have been these speculations that Atiku Abubakar have surrendered his political will to allow the likes of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso to run under the platform of the African Democratic Congress. How correct is this assertion?
Not correct at all. And it will be a fatal mistake to the opposition in Nigeria. And I'll tell you why. We saw His Excellency Peter Obi go to Anambra State. He supported a candidate for House of Rep. He endorsed her for House of Rep position in the by-election, and she lost in Anambra State. We saw him again endorse a candidate for governor, and that candidate lost in Anambra State. In politics, certain things are not transferable. You can't just raise my hand and tell your company to pay me your salary. That's what people are expecting from the electorate.
Let them not pay us.
You understand what I'm saying? Or you say that Victor should take my salary because, for whatever reason. It doesn't work like that. The electorate, there are people who believe in His Excellency Peter Obi, and they will support him in any election. But if he endorses someone and says, go and vote for this person, it might not necessarily transfer. The same thing with Atiku too. I think that, Atiku absolutely has to be on that ballot. Whoever the running mate will be, I think we'll find out eventually after the politics within the ADC has been concluded. But it's not as easy as saying, oh, just raise someone's hand up and tell people to vote for him. It doesn't work like that in politics at all.
Well, looking at before I even get to the PDP, the person of Bilal Aliud in that conversation, looking at the structure of the ADC as it stands today, can we say that the ADC is ready for the 2027 elections, or are they still in rebuilding phase?
I think the party is still in a very, it's in a formative stage, but what is going on is that it is going in momentum every day. I'm certain that certain people did not sleep last night in the All Progressive Congress after the entry of His Excellency Rabiu Kwakwanso into the party. And then today, you had the former APC candidate in Kano, Gawuna, who had about 800,000 votes in that election. You've had him come to ADC. And then you had on the floor of the House of Reps today, ADC is now the leading minority party in the legislative arm. So it's a growing party. Just today, we still had discussions on what the manifesto of the party would look like. How do we marry everyone's agenda and everyone's idea? So it's still a party in the formative stage, but the rapid pace of growth fills me with a lot of confidence. It's no longer a baby party, definitely. It is qualified to be called the main opposition coalition in this country. I mean, Bola Tinubu won the election, but Atiku Abubakar came second, Peter Obi came third, Kwakwanso came fourth. Now you have the second, third, and fourth in the same political party. I think, that's not just a party in the formative stage. That is a full-grown opposition party.
Well, I think the People's Democratic Party would disagree with you largely. But then let me even bring this to Bilal here. How is the PDP addressing criticism about recycling old political figures? Of course, we also bring that back to the ADC, because it's been also said that both opposition parties are trying to recycle old politicians here and there. But then, how will you react to this criticism?
Well, it's not all about recycling old political figures. What the PDP has been looking at as issues at experience, credibility, and also integrity at large as it stands. Because we know this is a party that's it's not just a party, it's more of like a culture to people, and this is a party that has built structures across, the 36 states, and it is the most leading opposition party in the country as it stands. Because let's take a look at the by-elections that happened in several states, and that of the one that happened in Adamawa, the Ganye State House of Assembly constituency, which belongs to Atiku, which falls within Atiku Abubakar's zones, whereby the ADC was nowhere to be found. The APC won within a spread of the PDP with just a margin of like 100 votes or so, and the PDP came second in that race, and Atiku was unable to deliver a constituency that is under his region, which is the Ganye State constituency at that point in time. Let's take a look at the just concluded FCT council elections, whereby the ADC2 was nowhere to be found, and the PDP won many councillorship seats, and also an area council, which is Gwagwalada. The ADC couldn't even win any seats in the FCT council elections. Just look at the convention that happened a few days ago in Abuja. Just look at the turnouts.
Oh, okay.
The amount of people.
Okay, you want to quickly react?
No, I was wondering which. Now I understand which faction he is from. I was wondering which faction.
It has to do with faction.
Yes, I was wondering which faction, but the Abuja convention that you mentioned, that means the Wike faction. I understand now.
Let me land.
I'm sorry.
So, this is not about factional politics. We are facing a reality we ain't, playing politics based on emotions. Because, looking at the Ibadan Convention, which was, barred by the courts, and also still at the appeal courts, the faction of the FCT minister also, won at the appeal courts. And right now, the party is trying to harmonize itself, its members, and also, involving inclusivity and unity. And right now, they're in talks with the other factions. Within the past 2 weeks, we tend to find out that there's been a calm within both factions of the People's Democratic Party. And at this point in time, we are getting close to having a resolution. And when you look at the other factions, which is the Bala Mohammed and the, Makinde-led factions, you tend to find out that even people within their folds at the campaign are moving down to the, Nyesom Wike faction as it stands. Now, the issues now is that the PDP is realigning its policies and strategies towards the 2027 general elections as it stands today. And in due time, we will be, having a resolution within the conflict in the party as it stands. Looking at the convention, you're having people like, Bukola Saraki.
All right, Bilal, let's even get Honorable Demola quickly react to what you've said, please.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I don't want to join issues with the PDP. I think PDP should sort itself out. I was a PDP member, for over a decade. I was a leader in my ward, leader in my local government, and we have great respect for the people in PDP. But you cannot claim to be an opposition party when the leader of your party, of one of the factions of your party, is a minister under Bola Tinubu. I mean, that's disrespectful to Nigerians, disrespectful to the culture of opposition. There should be a clear, distinct line. Okay, and we expect that at a certain point we'll definitely work with PDP. Like I said before, Atiku Abubakar has a lot of friends in the PDP. Atiku Abubakar was a two-term, he was vice president on the platform of that party for 8 years, two-term presidential candidate of the party. We believe that some people will definitely work with us. It's a coalition to oppose. But the moment I know that you are from the Wike faction, I know you are APC. Okay, if you are, if you are giving respect, if you are giving respect to the Wike faction, because Wike is a minister under Bola Tinubu. How can you oppose him? Wike has said, Wike held a meeting yesterday. And that meeting was between APC and PDP in Rivers State. I mean, look, let's not take Nigerians for granted. I'm not here to fight with any opposition on whether, PDP, I respect the party, former card-carrying member here, okay? But if we will be serious with Nigerians when it comes to the business of opposition, I mean, it is a joke. It's a joke and it's an insult to Nigerians. Nyesom Wike is serving under this government. You have the likes of the former governor, Okezi Ikpeazu, ambassador under Bola Tinubu, and you're telling Nigerians you're in opposition? This is a party that has come out to say that they will work. A faction that has come out to say, I have absolute respect for the Kabiru Tanimu Turaki faction. I have absolute respect for Indi Ememe, the governors who are remaining and pulling and saying, look, how do we do this? But to address the other issues you raised, if you look at the timeline of the elections, it is impossible for PDP to field a candidate now. Okay, because in 2 weeks' time you have to go to Congress. From Congress you move to State Congress, and then you move all the way to convention, and you produce candidates. Right now, INEC is still saying, appeal court says it is the Turaki Tanimu faction. The convention goes to Abuja.
The appeal court says is the Nyesom Wike faction.
Oh, the Nyesom Wike faction. Oh, yes, fair enough. So that means the appeal court is excluding 2 governors. That means you exclude 2 governors from your opposition structure.
But then, two of you, the ADC and the People's Democratic Party, tend to share the same right now. The same party ideology.
We are with the Kabiru Tanimu faction.
But right now, the PDP and the ADC, I beg your pardon,
yes,
tend to share
the same
political ideology. Has anything changed between the People's Democratic Party and the African Democratic Congress?
I respect the Kabiru Tanimu faction.
So which means that
because
ADC,
I believe they are
right now,
anti-Bola
so you're
Tinubu.
saying right now that the ADC is an extension of the People's Democratic Party.
No, what I'm saying is the ADC is a coalition platform. What it means is that if there's anybody...
With the same...
No, it has its own distinct identity.
With the same members of the People's Democratic Party, like the likes of Amechi, former member of the People's Democratic Party, Aregbesola, former member of the People's Democratic Party, El Rufai, former member of the People's Democratic Party.
I can break it down.
You can
I can break it down, yes.
Because it tends to be ideological, the importation or exportation of ideological orientation into a political party.
He's a frontline member PDP.
Yes.
His Excellency Peter Obi came from Labour Party. Rabiu Kwakwanso, NNPP. El Rufai came from APC. Aregbesola came from APC. So you see that the influence of PDP itself in ADC is not exactly so pronounced. But what I'm saying is this. Having seen that Bola Tinubu since 2023 was already scheming to run as a single presidential candidate, we looked at it and said, look, there are only two parties in this polity. Those who support Bola Tinubu, those who are opposed to Bola Tinubu. Now, you have a faction of the PDP that is saying that they are going to work for the re-election of Bola Tinubu. We have no business with those ones. We are opposition. But for the faction that is ready to work for Nigerians against Bola Tinubu, that's the faction that I respect. That's the faction that, you know, we can go into partnership with. The ADC is not just about the members who are there, okay? We have a very long, about 6 months from the period of convention when you choose your candidate to the election. And that's why I said that PDP has run out of time, because by the end of May, in 2 months' time, you have to pick your presidential candidate. And then you have the original faction of the party, or the faction which, according to him, has been sanctioned by the law courts, you know. And Wike has said clearly that they have no business. They don't want to produce any presidential candidate. So definitely we know where they are tilting towards. But if there's anyone...
There was no such pronouncement.
No, Wike has said it. Wike said he will work openly for Bola Tinubu's re-election. He's a serving minister there.
There was no such pronouncement, because as it stands, the PDP has said that it has opened its candidates. And it has debunked that statement that the People's Democratic Party...
No, I'm saying Wike himself. Wike himself said so. Wike said it. In May 2026, Wike said, I will work for Bola Tinubu's re-election. He said it very clearly.
That's a statement, but you might say it from Inyesom Wike. But
so you think Wike would oppose Bola Tinubu, who appointed him as minister?
I'm not saying if he's going to oppose or not oppose. All I'm trying to tell you
is that the party ambassador under Bola Tinubu.
All I'm trying to tell you that the party has opened the ticket wide for people to
run for president,
partake within the presidential race, and as it stands, and there are also people trying to vie for that position as it stands. So the issues on ground now is that the PDP is, rejigging its, strategies, and policies towards, in order to, become victorious in the 2027, general elections. As it stands, we've not made any pronouncements that we are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The People's Democratic, the PDP, debunks that statement. So it's opening its
all right.
ticket.
Bilal, there tend to be a very strong argument between the ADC and the People's Democratic Party as it stands today. And that is the fact that every member of the African Democratic Congress have one time or the other admired the seat of the presidency, the #1 seat of the country. Also, a similar experience within the PDP, where we don't have a stronger presidential candidate coming from the People's Democratic Party. Let me even throw it to you, Bilal. Is there a candidate by the People's Democratic Party as it stands today? It is to be an election today. Can the People's Democratic Party file a candidate that is competent enough to be able to even embrace some of the challenges of Nigeria and be able to provide solutions to them?
Definitely, we have a lot of them within the party.
But we cannot state their names.
No. Well,
let's get names if at all they are candidates. Let's get their names.
Wait. When you see the likes of Sule Lamido,
is he coming out for presidency?
He's not running. Sule Lamido is not running for president.
Is Bukola Saraki competing?
We are not.
Let's allow him to think through the names. No.
I'm not saying they're coming out for presidency.
Yes.
In the previous elections, this.
So you're saying as it stands right now, People's Democratic Party does not have a candidate.
You are asking the question if there is anybody formidable within the party.
At least give us like 5 names.
To run for president, challenging Bola Tinubu.
I'm not mentioning anyone, coming out for president, because as it stands now, we've, trying to, like, resolve the issues, and we're almost reaching a resolution at this point in time. So it will be so early to start mentioning names for people that are vying for the presidential ticket at this point in time. So first of all, we've just concluded the conventions, and we are in talks with the opposition, with the other factions at this point in time, and we are reaching a resolution. So after that is already solved, then we will start seeing people coming out to vie for the presidential ticket within the People's Democratic Party, because as it stands, we are reaching an agreement, with the likes of Makin there and all. So as it stands,
you've spoken on the People's Democratic Party's point of view. Let's get the ADC, even Demola even speak to this issue. A lot of we've seen El Rufai. He has admired the seat of the presidency. We've seen the likes of Rotimi Amechi. We've seen the likes of name them within even Peter Obi.
Yes.
In the ADC right now. Can we say that the African Democratic Congress is even ready to put its house in order to give us a presidential candidate come 2027?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the ADC has never hidden its intention. The major reason ADC was formed is to serve as the major opposition coalition platform, and the number of candidates that are there presently is formidable. You have all of them there, and it's a rich party when it comes to those who are vying. All legal obstacles taken away, all political obstacles being worked on. I think 2027 is going to be a very successful year for the opposition, especially given, the level of chaos in the country under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. PDP respect all the time. I respect the political party, but the PDP has to decide if it all wants to be an opposition party or it wants to be a lackey of the APC, and then take crumbs, like ministerial position for Wike, like ambassadorial position for Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi and the other guy. I respect Bilal's position. I respect the duty he has to carry out here, but unfortunately, I cannot respect anyone who you are part of a party, but then you are being anti-party by working for the APC.
I'm not working.
I don't understand. Not you particularly. I mean, not you. I don't know you. I don't know your antecedents, so I wouldn't say that. I'm talking of, the fact that Wike is the one who is leading that faction. For me, it is an insult, and I repeat it again, to Nigerians, for Nyesom Wike to still be holding on to the PDP. Just defect to the APC, for goodness sake, and take whatever you want to take from Bola Tinubu, but then acting as an agent of chaos and darkness within a political party like that, I feel for PDP. That party is not going to produce candidates. We've all been seeing what is going on. We saw the governor of Demola, the man had to run to a Accord party, try to revive the party. Now they are trying to build structures for it just because the PDP could not put its house in order. And now you are saying that, the platforms are coming out. Again, I have no issues. I'm not, here or anywhere to join issues with the PDP. I believe that the PDP should be a part of the opposition coalition with the ADC. But we must do Nigerians that favor of speaking out to the wrongs that are going on in the All Progressive Congress government, instead of allowing some people using the brand of PDP to support the nonsense that is going. I mean, you saw what happened today. Bola Tinubu wrote a letter to the National Assembly to borrow about $6 billion or so, and then within 3 hours, Godswill Akpabio, within 3 hours of reading the letter, they approved for him to go and borrow more loans. When Goodluck Jonathan removed fuel subsidy, he introduced Sure-P. When Muhammadu Buhari reduced fuel subsidy, he introduced Empower. When the Obasanjo government removed it, they introduced NAPEP. Bola Tinubu is the first president who removed fuel subsidy totally. He did not give Nigerians any subsidy, any relief. No program. We don't know where the gains of subsidy has gone to. Now he's borrowing money. And for the first time in the history of Nigeria since 1960, you had Godswill Akpabio. They approved Nigeria to go and take a loan of about, I can't remember the exact amount now, within 3 hours. Even in a company that I own, if I own a company, I can't get them to ratify some things because nobody wants to get into trouble. The board of directors will ask you, what do you want to use the money for? 3 hours, the Nigerian Senate. So I think that, a political party like PDP should be a part of the opposition to this and help Nigerians, and not be, you are doing party arrangements because they are giving you minister, they are giving you ambassador, and then you cannot criticize them anymore.
So you're saying that PDP is not competent to be an opposition party?
Look, it is very clear.
Is that what you're saying?
I respect the other faction.
Is that what
the Kabiru Tanimu faction, the Kabiru Tanimu Turaki faction, I respect them.
They are competent,
they are
but
coming
the Wike
out.
faction is
If
not
you are
competent.
opposition,
is that what you're saying?
The Wike faction is not competent because rather than living up to the role of opposition for Nigerians need a viable and robust opposition. PDP should have stepped up to that. But these guys are more interested in holding ministerial positions. They are more interested in collecting ambassadorial position. 5 of them sat on the table when they wanted to do that meeting. 3 of them are appointees of the Bola Tinubu government. How do you come out as opposition? So for me, I think, PDP is not part of the opposition conversation again. A part of it will definitely go into discussions with us when it comes to 2027. Before then, there will be a discussion. But the other faction, which is the Wike faction, they are not coming into any discussion with us. They are going fully with Bola Tinubu, and they've said it time and time again. Anybody that you see who's still identifying with the Wike faction, with all respect to them, they are simply working for Bola Tinubu.
So you're saying invariably that PDP is dead on arrival?
As a political party for 2027, of course, I'm sure he will disagree. I'm sure he will disagree.
As an opposition party, because I never said so. I'm just trying to interpret what he said.
I would like to hear PDP criticizing APC for Nigerians.
If Demola is saying the PDP is dead on arrival, I entirely disagree with that. Because just look at the by-elections that happened months ago. Look at the FCT area council elections, whereby people of the Atiku, the likes of Erufai, Peter will be going out there to campaign for their candidates, but yet they were unable to produce even a councillor in the FCT elections. And in all results, it was just, I think, maybe the AMAC, the area council, whereby the ADC came second in the council elections. But the PDP was a leading opposition, and that
for me, that's not a criteria, to be honest.
No.
It's not a criteria, and I will explain why to you.
You can't say it's not a criteria.
I will explain why to you.
You can't say it's not a criteria.
You can pick any political party.
Let me learn.
Okay,
You can't say it's not a criteria.
Yes.
Because what we are looking now is, because the FCT area council and the by-elections was a litmus test to find political parties that are, formidable towards the 2027 general elections.
Look.
No.
Let me explain something to you about elections. See, elections, you have to understand, you can never in Nigeria use a by-election to determine the standard for national elections. National elections always run. You see, in a by-election, the APC concentrates for this kind of narrative exactly. They concentrated definitely on ADC and made sure that they targeted a lot that was going on with the ADC. But that's not the problem. What we are saying to them very clearly is that come 2027, they can take all the governors at this point, Come 2027, ADC is going to be the platform for Nigerians, and whatever they do in a single day election, in an off-cycle election, will not apply to a general election because you cannot concentrate all your forces in one place at the same time. I would prefer that the PDP focuses more on criticizing the APC. Nigerians were asking for this since 2023, that PDP elections are over. Now we want you to step up as opposition. So even up till now, I believe very strongly that there's still a lot that can happen with PDP. I believe that PDP, Ine Bong is my very good friend, he's the publicity secretary. He should come out, he speaks very clearly against the APC government. That's what we expect. Governor Bala Mohammed, Governor Seyi Makinde, I would like to hear the Wike faction for once criticize this government, but we all know why. You cannot criticize the people who are paying. The APC is presently paying the salary of Nyesom Wike. They are the ones who are paying his salary presently.
So automatically PDP has become a toothless bulldog.
So if to any PDP that is identifying with Wike, is a toothless bulldog.
You're saying that PDP has become a toothless bulldog.
The Wike faction of PDP, a toothless bulldog, is not an opposition.
Bulldog. Yes. It cannot challenge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies, its programs, and its action.
Can
you criticize some of the things?
Definitely.
How about the FCT minister? Can you criticize the FCT minister? I mean, there's no water. Residents of Abuja are complaining.
He's not national leader of the People's Democratic Party.
Residents of Abuja are complaining. There's been no water.
I'm not a spokesperson.
Bilal, there's been no water.
We just concluded.
Can we call out Nyesom Wike?
We just concluded the conventions, and right now we've also received the court order, in order to take over the secretariats of the People's Democratic Party.
So in the days ahead, we're going to be seeing more progress.
You will be seeing progress, because now there's now a structure.
Who is the publicity secretary of the Wike faction?
That's Jungudo.
Jingle though. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
will he be issuing statement criticizing FCT? I mean, there's a lot of garbage on the road.
Definitely.
There's dirt on the road.
Just
the roads in Gwarimpa are terrible. Wike is focusing on expressways.
I'm not.
Water, Abuja residents. This is the first time that water has been epileptic. Nyesom Wike is failing in that duty. So I hope that the PDP will be able to call him out.
You can't with facts. You can't come out and say Nyesom Wike is a failed FCT minister. Over the years,
so you are defending APC now?
No. Over the years,
you are defending APC. I was asking you to criticize APC.
No. Me, I'm against the APC government.
But you are for Wike.
I'm against the APC government. Wait, let me get things clear. I've been a PDP member right from time. I was with the Makinde faction before the resignation
Picot judgment
of Damagum. Okay, I've been in support with the Makinde factions. I can't leave the PDP because it's easy for me, the whole party, and I align with its policies, and objectives. So presently, looking at the cases, the Ibadan Convention was, nullified by the courts, and they had to appeal it, and the Wike faction won at the appeal. Primaries are around the corner. I can't, this is not about, it's not a game of emotions. Let's face the reality. Let's face the reality.
Ahead of preparations for the 2027 elections, will the People's Democratic Party right now haven't been able to conduct a smooth, free and credible primaries, criticize the Wike's policies or the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's decisions so far across the country? That's what I think Demola is trying to find out.
Definitely. Me, I'm against.
In the days ahead, are we going to be seeing that?
Definitely.
As the chieftain of the People's Democratic Party?
Definitely.
We will be seeing that.
Definitely. We've just concluded conventions, and people have already taken offices.
Let me, before I even end the show, because I've been saying that our time is fast spent. Demola, there is this very, very disturbing conversation by a lot of Nigerians saying that Atiku Abubakar has always come out for the presidential election across various political parties, and there are speculations that when he joins a political party, is there to destabilize the political party. But then let me get you react. If the presidential ticket is not given to your principal, is he still going to support the ADC into victory?
Atiku Abubakar lost the 2011 presidential primaries in PDP to Goodluck Jonathan by 600 votes. Atiku Abubakar mobilized Adamawa State for Goodluck Jonathan, and he delivered Adamawa State for Goodluck Jonathan in 2011. In 2014, December, Atiku Abubakar lost the APC presidential ticket to President Muhammadu Buhari.
He didn't remobilize.
He lost it to President Muhammadu. He lost it, and that's what I'm explaining. In December 2014, ahead of the 2015 election, he was a member of the All Progressive Congress. He lost to Muhammadu Buhari. He mobilized Adamawa State for Muhammadu Buhari, and he delivered Adamawa State to Muhammadu Buhari. Atiku Abubakar has lost presidential primaries before. Every time he loses, he always supports the winner. No controversy. So if he wins also, he expects you as the loser to support him, because he believes that there are no winners or no losers. So the facts are very clear. Atiku Abubakar has always been a force for good. Again, I think it is commendable for anyone to live, and I admire people like Bilal who are still members of the PDP. I really admire that. Like I said, I was a member, but I felt, the party had lost his way when he couldn't, curb internal sabotage or call out things like your high-ranking member, a former governor, being a minister under a government you're claiming to oppose. I felt there was a problem with that, so I left the party. But I'm young, okay? Atiku Abubakar, at his age, for him to have the courage to leave a political party, I think Nigerians will see that and would commend that. It is very respectable.
Wait. Instead of leaving political parties, I feel it's better. That's why I still remain within the PDP up to now, to stay back home, to ensure that it is not. No.
I've commended you. I commended your resolve. I commended your resolve to still be there. But understand, a political party is not a cult.
We have a lot of time.
It is not a cult
to dissect and even talk about all of this issue. But again, I've been signaled our time is fast spent. Let's tag this to be the conversation part 1, if you will permit me, on this, so that we can have a lot of time even to look at all of this issue. But I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
gentlemen,
Victor,
finding
for
out time
having
to
me.
leave us here in Corero.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on Corero. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments, and leave your suggestions on our social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download our app from your various iOS and Android devices just to keep track of our broadcasts. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.